Hey everyone, today on Retroactivemart we have something interesting for comic book fans, and it is a Canadian comic book company that put out these. We're gonna look at some Canadian comics here put out by the Aircel comic book company that was based out of Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. And they are quite interesting. So here we go. Let's get into them, and we'll be right back. We'll see you. All right, and we're back here on Retroactivemart, and like I said in the intro, we got some Canadian comic books here put out by the independent comic book company called Aircel. And they did all kinds of independent comic book releases on all kinds of different topics, usually almost anime-ish sort of style. Not really the normal comics that you or I would think of, like with DC or Marvel or anything like that. These guys did all kinds of interesting things. And here is the first one we're going to look at. This one is called Samurai. And this one I have here is number 1. Excuse me. It was, like I said, put out by, I think the guy's name was Barry Blair. I could be wrong, but anyways, yeah, right there, Barry Blair. And he set up his comic book company, and there you see it's printed right in Canada. And the head offices were in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. And this one is called Samurai, and it is in black and white. And they are just really cool Canadian comic books that were based in Canada, and they put out all kinds of different styles of comic books. This one is Samurai, as I said. And I don't really know too much about this comic book company. I've heard of them before. I've read some of their stuff before, but I don't know that much about it. But this is what Samurai looks like. And it's just really cool artwork. Very neat comic books. And yeah, just a cool, different kind of style of comic books. So that one is Samurai. And here's another one that is called Darkwood. And this one is more of like a I guess I'd say probably like Game of Thrones, along that sort of line, mixed with Lord of the Rings sort of stylish type of comic book. And this one, I believe, yeah, it has a made for an older audience. It says they're PG-13, so this one has more violence and stuff in it, but it's done in color. And I look at these artistic drawings and stuff in here. It is so cool. I don't really know too much about Darkwood. I never have read very much about this one, but it is pretty neat. And it's just all kinds of stuff. like dragons and warlords and stuff like that in these comics for this series. And it's just really cool. All kinds of bright artwork in here. Nice colors. So that is what Darkwood is. And each comic book, they would have letters from people, of course. You could send in your letter and they would put it in the next magazine. And they called this one Dark Mail. So yeah, that was Darkwood. And then probably, I would say their most famous comic book series is Elflord. All about this story about elves and their adventures that they have with other elf communities and stuff like that. Yeah, it's really cool. And this one is more along looking like anime-ish sort of styling. And it is a pretty neat series all about elves. And again, lots of color in it. Looks really cool. I don't really know too much about the story, but I've heard of Elflord before. And then here's our final one, is also Elflord. Beginning this issue, all new story, new supporting cast, all new adventure. And this one is, what is it? Number 22. Aircel Comics. I'll put up some info on the screen here of what the comic book company was like and everything if you want more info on it. It's actually quite an interesting Canadian comic book company. And they had all kinds of cool different series of comic books. And yeah, they were called again Aircel. And just love the drawings in it. It's just something that you don't really see much. You've never really heard of this type of drawing or this type of comic back in the day. They really stuck out and were independent for quite a while until another American comic book company bought them out. And then there went the independent license and all that stuff, and went downhill after that. But the first few years being independent in Canada and putting out groundbreaking comics like this was just something special that Canada had for a while. So that is really cool. That is what I have for you today. And I hope you enjoyed this little video. I was just looking at some cool comic book history, Canadian comic book history by Aircel. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and we will see you on another one coming up soon. Thumbs up, remember to stay retro, and we'll see you later. Bye bye. Okay, and if you want to watch some more, I've got videos up here and down here for you to continue watching. Okay guys, see you later. Bye bye. Adios.